I'm Dr. Barbara Young, and you are watching The Total Woman Show. With me today are my co-host, Coach Allison, Jody Tucker, and my special guest co-host, Miss Fatima El-Swifi and Miss Kathleen Ronald. I got that right. Please know, the statements are our own. Now you can agree or disagree, but this is a show that we have for you today, and this is our story, and we have an opportunity to make a difference in sharing our stories and solutions with you as women in a global world. Each week, we will be here because this is your time and this is our time. On this show, what we're going to do, and not only just entertain you, but we're going to inform you, inspire you, and each week have you walk away learning something that you can use for your everyday life. Something that will project you into a successful or more successful life. Each week, we're going to provide you with profound insights from topics and issues to provoke you and to stir you to action for success. This show is about the total woman. Yes, all of you. Body, spirit, and soul. Because yes, we live in a physical body, we have a soul, and we have a spirit. And there are many, many issues that impact women and each of us today. We are absolutely sure that we are going to make a difference in your lives. This show is designed not only to create change, but to enrich your life and empower you with keys and success strategies that you can use with courage and sensibility. So stay with us today because we got a great topic for you, and let me tell you, don't go away, don't touch the dial, stay right there because we're going to be discussing baggage, your baggage. And what I mean is, what are you carrying in your baggage? I like that. Actually, rhetorically, we think about suitcases, we think about luggage. What's weighing you down? What are you holding on to? You know, sometimes the past can weigh us down in the present. So what we're going to do today is to talk about this topic in detail. All of us have our stories to share. And we were all going to take comfort knowing that every one of us, we've had issues, psychological issues that we've had to go through, we've had to conquer. And so we're not saying that we've conquered them all, and we're not saying that we all are where we need to be because no one is perfect, and we all have to deal with these issues day by day. So I'm asking all of us today, I want you to share and know, everyone deals with emotional baggage. So I'm asking you today, what kind of baggage do you have? What do you carry? Are you ready to get rid of it? Well, today we're going to give you some steps and strategies how you can get rid of that emotional baggage because it's just holding you down. So, my ladies, we're going to talk about this, so stay tuned. Hell, ladies, we got issues.
Get the shovel.
We got issues. You know, and many of us, we have well, some of us, some of these unprocessed emotions, you know, and they're sort of there. But I want to be the first, you know, sort of jump out of the chute and say that, you know, I had to really get over some things early on because I felt my mom didn't love me. I was the eldest of 6 children. And being the oldest, and they were like 19 months apart, my sister came and then my other sister came along. And I always felt between us girls, she favored my sisters. And I grew up feeling like mom didn't love me. She used to look at me, you know, and you know, like a harsh look. And I said, well, she doesn't love me. So I carried that baggage and feeling that I was inferior, that I was insecure. And added to that was the fact that I looked different from my brothers and sisters, only to find out later they were my half-brothers and sisters. We had the same mom, but not the same dad. So there are things that we carry on. I didn't know that until I was 17 or 18. And I realized it wasn't that my mom didn't like me. Yeah. I looked so much like my dad. So I was a reminder to her that she was married to someone else. So I just sort of share that because there's a lot of stuff that we carry, we don't know. I mean, and to me, it wasn't even real. Sometimes there are things that are false, but our perception of them become our reality. Yes. Mm-hmm. So I just really had to get over that. And then the other issue with me was, you know, getting married to someone and still feeling that less than. And I wonder if we attract these kind of people because we're carrying that kind of baggage.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll hear guys even today, I know you've heard it, say, well, you don't want to deal with her because she's carrying too much baggage. She's got a whole lot of baggage. But when you refer to men, you don't say that they're carrying baggage. You just say, oh, he's got emotional challenges.
That was
So we get kind of, defined as, she's carrying baggage.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think we're crafted at birth with baggage, just from our circumstance and the way we're raised, because in our brains, everything says, what does this mean? What does this mean? Well, when you're little, how do you not make up a story? I mean, we're constantly making up stories all the time about everything.
Right.
So whatever happens when you're younger, for me, one of my biggest baggage image was body image. And as a young girl, I've been on a diet since 8th grade. My father offered me a Porsche in high school to lose 15 pounds. I didn't do it. My swim coach gave me a bag of sugar and said, wouldn't it be greater if you had 10 pounds off in the water? When I ran for Miss Washington, they put me on liquid protein because they wanted 10 pounds off before the night of the pageant. It's fascinating how that story that you're not good enough, you're not enough, because my story was, oh, you have to be thin and petite to be attractive in the world. And,
Absolutely.
because how do you know that's true?
Right.
Do you know that's true?
Right.
And who would you be without that thought? I love Byron Katie's work, the 4 questions. When you have a story, is that true? How do you know it's true? Who would you be without the thought, and what's the turnaround?
Yeah.
So I'm constantly looking at stories that I might have created. They could be conscious or unconscious, but a lot of the unconscious one you don't even know until it's your time of learning or when it's exposed, and you can look back and you go, gosh, do I want to have that story or that baggage about myself? So it's fascinating, just the story of how it can put you in a straitjacket.
It can.
Yeah.
And it's like, where did it even come from? But you have to go way
You have to
back.
you have to
from
really
when
do
you're
some
in
soul
childhood,
searching.
really-
just to
yeah.
unravel it.
You have to do a lot of digging because that baggage actually, I see a lot of baggage that comes from expectations that were not met and the
That's a good point.
disappointments. And when the expectations are a certain way, all we need to do is to adjust the expectations, but that's not easy to do,
That's
right?
not-
Especially when it's your parents.
Yeah, it's not easy to do.
Or
And
your
so,
teachers
yeah,
or
and then
your
so
siblings.
so that baggage stays. Well, I wanted to do that. I wanted this to happen, but that didn't. Therefore, nothing better will happen for me. I see that a lot.
Right.
And the expectation is that, yeah, everybody wants to succeed. Everybody wants to be happy. But how do we get there? And that mental state is different for everybody.
It
And
is.
Yeah.
when is, how much happiness is good enough for you? And, how much money is enough for you to have?
What's your definition of
Right.
happiness?
Yeah, exactly.
What's your recipe? It's
Yeah,
different for
and
everybody.
so that baggage comes from, okay, that wasn't enough last time. And therefore, I will define my life that way, or I will define myself that way. And that is a huge limiting belief
Yeah.
that really that drags everybody. But it's difficult to manage that because it starts at a very,
starts
very
at a
young
very
age.
young age.
From someone in a very close, intimate relationships.
Right.
And so it's a process, just like anything.
One of the things that I didn't want to interrupt you, but it's like I don't think we think about baggage in terms of carrying people. You carry your children, you carry your family. You carry. We carry. Do you see that
Yeah.
as baggage as well? I know we haven't really.
Well, there's emotional baggage,
but
there's spiritual baggage,
Right.
there's
all
two-legged
yeah,
flutter,
there's all
which
of
is baggage.
this
Yeah.
layers. You were going to say something, Fatima.
Kind of along the lines of what she was saying, the way I define baggage is a false truth about yourself. That's what I consider to be baggage, and we're talking about
Good point,
childhood
right.
and all these things we deal with
Right.
from a childhood age. Like even to this day, I would tell people that I'm not very emotional, it's not easy for me to express myself or to be very affectionate with people. But then when I feel feelings for someone and I can't express it, but I feel it, it's frustrating. And that's when I know there's something not right. There's something that's not clicking. Why can't I be vulnerable? Why can't I be affectionate? And so I went back in my life and I was reminded of how my stepdad was with me. And he was very affectionate, but I never believed him. It was never authentic to me. So I remember my mom saying that I was one of the most loving children. But then something switched, and I was very like, oh, don't touch me, don't hug me, and I didn't want that anymore. And so it is important to go back, like to go back and define that's what it is now, like what is the solution, how do I get this off of me? And you have to be intentional about it. It's not something that can happen overnight. You have to work at it. So now I'm more conscious, and I try to let everyone know that's around me how I feel about them and express myself in that way.
I'm glad to hear you say that, but you know what? We're going to pause for a cause and take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be right back to you. Don't go away. We'll be right back with the Total Woman Show. This is Dr. Barbara Young.
Do you have more on your plate than your time and energy allows? Would you like to get your insanely busy lifestyle under control so you can actually enjoy yourself? Join LifeWork Balance M6 program. Manage stress, lose weight, and prevent burnouts. Go to healthcoachallison.com and join LifeWork Balance M6. The website is healthcoachallison.com. The program is LifeWork Balance M6. Be well.
Welcome back. Well, we were talking about emotional baggage, and we were talking about how some of the steps that you need to get rid of that emotional baggage. And as Kathleen pointed out, there's all kinds of baggage. Kathleen, you want to elaborate? You were talking about 3 strands of baggage: emotional baggage, spiritual baggage, and physical baggage.
Well,
we didn't talk about the physical baggage. Oh.
Physical baggage. You know, if you want to look at body clutter, I talk about 2-legged clutter, right? So there's people that you want to bless and release and let them prosper elsewhere because you've been carrying them for whatever. There's family baggage. There's historical baggage. There's cultural baggage. I think baggage comes in many forms.
Yes, it does.
But to your point, I really like, I think the key is the string of baggage is your thought process. You know, it's really your belief system that drives the majority of our personal pain, is my thought about that.
I love this image of baggage because I flew in a plane to be here. So and there's a, you're welcome. There's a critical piece to this, everything that I put in my bag, because we all have a bag.
Yes.
You can't get away from that. You're going to have one. Everybody's got one. But what you choose to put in it, to me, is the critical piece.
Great metaphor.
What am I going to choose to pack? And to me, it's more about whose voice am I listening to? Yeah, I put, pants in a bag, shirt in a bag, very concrete. There they are. I can look at them. But the baggage we carry is all up here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when that happens, for me, it's more about whose voice is that? Who am I listening to? Is that a voice I want to listen to? Is that what I want to choose to pack in my bag? So there comes a point when we have to look at that bag and say, I chose that. And now it's time to unpack it, try some of that stuff on. I mean, try some of it on. Does this look right on me? No.
Does
and
it
then
feel right?
hug that. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
And unpacking that bag regularly, I think, is part of just acknowledging, you know what, we all have a bag. It's going to happen. You shouldn't feel bad about that. But you can unpack it, and you can take stuff out. You can put new things in there. What's the voice I want to put in that bag? I'm going to put that in and I'm going to carry that around with me. But that other stuff, it's out. And we, have to do that, I think, on a regular basis.
You bring up a good point that it's critical that we reassess. And I remember the book by Gail Shee talks about passages and how we go through passages of life. And so it's like, we're going through passages with the baggage. And so it's now time to do some reflection and maybe look at what we need to take out of that bag and what do we need to put in. Because I'm a different person than I was when I was that girl, with my mom feeling inferior at 19 when I got married and all this. I'm a different person. And I had to start looking again at age 30. I think the age of definition starts around, I don't know, for me it was around 30. Why am I here? Oh my God, I'm 30, And it was then I began to realize, some of this stuff has got to go because it's impeding my progress. I'm living more in the past and letting that old script define me.
Yeah.
I think it's really sad too. I've watched people, and Alice and I talked about this because of our background with our disease, if you will, our healing opportunities. But it's interesting when people have a pivotal point in their life, why do they have to wait to get cancer to unload their baggage? You know, it's kind of like, what is that critical thing? What has happened to you that was the turning point, that tipping point that makes you snap and really start to look at your life? And it's kind of like, why do we have to wait to get to a breaking point in life to really look at what's happening in our life and the baggage we have? It's kind of like, why wait to get cancer? Start your life now.
Right. Exactly.
You know what?
Yeah.
But I find a lot of people unload a ton of baggage when they are presented with a defining, life-changing, life-altering, and could be a death, you know, on the other side of that. Then they get more conscious or aware.
But you know,
Like, why does it take that sometimes?
I have a thought about that. Because I think when we're in situations and we're in that embryonic stage where you feel comfortable, everything's going great, people love you,
Oh, sure.
you're getting
Oh,
all of
yes.
this affirmation about how beautiful you are, how wonderful you are, and you're in that cocoon stage, but you don't grow. It's almost like when there has to be that agitation, and the agitation of life, these things that come against you are impacting against you, are learning opportunities.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying everybody has to go through cancer. I don't have all the answers, but I believe
Right.
that when God allows, stuff happens to everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it rains on everybody. The
it's
sun
supposed
shines
to.
on everybody.
It's supposed to.
It's
It's like,
supposed
why
to.
not me? But
Yeah.
the
Stuff
point is, why do you have
happens.
to wait? Why do you have
Yeah,
to
but
get
it's
to that point
your
sometimes?
response to what happens determines the
Clearly.
outcome,
Yeah.
positive or negative.
Clearly.
So,
Yeah.
you know, and it gets back to choice.
Yeah. It's all
You
about choice.
choose. You chose to live,
Yeah.
not die.
Yeah.
Right. Well, see, the thing is, for me, I know that the way I was living before cancer, and what I've learned doing cancer is that, I mean, in my case of cancer was very aggressive, and as being the stubborn person that I am, I probably needed that extreme of a lesson in order to really open my
Get your attention.
open my
Yeah.
open my eyes. And the fact is, not everybody makes it out alive,
Right.
right?
That's true.
So you have to really stop and think, okay, where was I going, and where do I want to go from here? And even in my coaching, what I always say to people, and I have mentioned this in our previous segments, is that you need to balance your endurance and your suppression. So when you have baggage, you're suppressing more. And of course, the goal is endure all things and not suppress anything. But that's in a perfect world, right? So we always have to manage the amount that you can endure, and then increase your ability to endure more.
Or you change the perception of even the word enduring.
Yeah.
Rather than to endure. That sounds very hard to me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, to endure something
That's
seems
why
like
it's rewarding,
work.
though.
Isn't
That's why
that
it's rewarding.
interesting? Yeah.
Yeah.
I would do a transformational vibration on that word.
Yeah.
I want to live in joy, which doesn't involve enduring. Enduring seems hard for me.
Enduring is joy, though. You don't think that way?
Yeah,
Well,
see,
you
isn't that-
See, I mean, that's the difference.
Yeah.
For me, endurance
Well, I'm
is
enjoying
joy.
a great relationship with you guys.
Because, no,
Enduring.
because, I mean, I know that I was,
What is the definition of enduring?
enduring is,
Endearing, I like that
no,
word.
yeah, that
Enduring.
too. Enduring for me is giving your best.
And the
I see.
capacity,
And-
I see it as
and
the
the
capacity
for
to
the
handle
happiness.
something.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, to handle it. Yeah,
I
and
see.
really to because I mean, when life demands the very best out of you, and it doesn't have to be as dramatic as cancer every time, right? I mean,
No.
it can be just a
Yeah.
daily thing. But
Yeah,
when you
I
can
went
endure,
somewhere else with that word.
yeah, so you can last through that experience,
Right.
and gain
so
more
you
force.
build
So-
endurance.
Yeah.
So the
So-
ability to, okay.
So to me, that very much signifies joy.
Yeah.
And that's what the
It can be.
word means to me. But I mean, it can mean different things to other people.
Yes.
It's just that when I tell my clients, okay, how much can you endure right now? and what would you like to change so that you can endure better and not suppress? Because suppression, we know that that's going to cut you down, and that's the baggage that's going to draw you back. And so how much can you endure, and what is your goal for endurance? You know, because I mean, you have to make that decision deliberately.
Yes.
How much can you endure through this?
But you know, even the good book says that, you know, rejoice in tribulations when afflictions come
Sure.
upon you, that you're to rejoice.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people say, what? I'm rejoicing because I have been diagnosed with cancer, or I'm rejoicing because my husband's left, you know, this kind of thing. You know, but it is a choice.
building.
Yeah,
It's a choice. And that to me is the joy of enduring in spite of.
Yeah.
Now, did that come to you? Because when I was a little girl, I always had this dream of, ooh, when I get to be 30, I won't have any problems. Because when you're 30, you can get to a place where you have no problems.
Yeah.
I thought that was the goal.
Where did that
is
come
to
from,
get-
Kathleen?
I just, and my father looked at me and he said, if you ever get to a point where you don't have any problems, I want you to get on your knees and start praying to God, give me more. And I looked at him like he was, are you still drinking, Dad? Like, really? But now, you know, fast forward all these years, I really get that that's the juice of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I would say make friends with it, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Get to the joy of whatever presents you as soon as possible, and then you get to go in the flow rather than.
And then that
revenge.
definition of joy has also changed over the years too. Because I mean, when I was younger, I mean, joy was fun.
Yeah.
Joy meant fun,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
now joy means more than that. You know, it's something that we love passionately, but something that tries us as well. And so joy is a multifaceted word, and as much as
For everybody.
endurance for
Yeah.
me
Yes.
too. Yeah, so it's not just fun. And when you say, well, yeah, endurance is a lot of work, of course it is. Of course it is, because it's making you grow.
But you know,
it's joy.
Just going
You know.
through this journey of life.
You
It's
have
work.
to have, okay, now
It's
I'm with your
work.
definition.
Yeah.
You have to have endurance.
That's
Commitment.
All right, make that a new word, okay, for you. Okay, endurance. is
Well,
the
I
word.
have, by her definition, I have endurance.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course
Yeah.
you do.
Yes.
You went through.
Yeah.
I mean, I think of endurance as going through something, going through it with a positive, or
Yes.
turning a negative into a positive. And I do this, for me personally, change my paradigm. I just shifted. Okay, these people don't love me. Oh, but I see them as loving me and pushing me to my next level. You know, just changing the way I look at things. Okay, so this
Always.
is but everybody can't do that. I mean, I realize that life is a choice, and that's why we're here for you today, to talk about the fact that you can make changes. And this show is to provide you, just listening to our stories, that, you know, we're not perfect, we have all these things, and we're still striving, I know I am, to arrive. I don't know if I will never arrive, but I'm striving to be the best that I can and live the best that I can. And that's all we want you to do, is to do the best that you can, to make a decision that, you know what, there are things that have happened in my life. There are things, there's baggage I'm carrying, maybe they're just emotional baggage, there's spiritual baggage, there's physical baggage. You know you need to lose weight. And you know you need to get rid of that relationship that's been dragging you down. It's emotionally draining you. So it's time to realize, I gotta make a change. It's time to do something different. So what are some of the strategies that you would suggest, my fellow
Well,
co-host?
you know what? I think that being able to, first of all, accept that we all have baggage and be okay with that. I mean, what's the definition of weakness? Is it something that defines you as being less than, or is it just, you know what, I acknowledge that this is something that I need to grow in, instead of assuming that there's something wrong with you
Right,
because you
right.
come
I
with
love that
baggage,
point.
because we all have it. So first of all, acknowledging it, and then secondly, just developing that self-awareness of saying, yes, I can acknowledge, not from a place of fear, but from a place of just, you know, I love who I am, and I'm not real good at this, and I'm okay with that. And putting that baggage in its place, so that it doesn't become something that weighs you down, but that you're just, you know what's in that bag. I know what's in there, and I'm going to work on that, and you know, I'll unpack it, and I'm going to deal with it, and I'm going to use it instead of letting it use you.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, first of all, we all have it. That's okay. We should be okay with that. We all come with baggage. And then secondly, understanding that I'm going to be then more aware and more engaged in what's in that bag so that I can deal with it.
That's great.
Those are my tips.
I have
Great.
some tips, and this just came to me, but accepting baggage as seasonal. In the winter,
Oh, that's a
you need
good point.
warmer clothes. In the summer, you need lighter
point.
clothes. So
That's a very good
instead
point.
of looking at your baggage as something that's a problem, it could be there for that season to challenge you and to bring something out of you
Beautiful.
so that you
Yeah.
can go into the next
Right.
season and then you can adjust for that season.
It's a
That's
temporary.
great.
Yeah. That's great.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
That's
baggage is
great. I
temporary.
like that.
Yeah.
That's
Beautiful.
Because
When
I
the
was,
student is ready, the teacher will appear.
yeah.
And if that
Absolutely.
one's
That's
ready,
great.
then you'll
That's
heal
great.
it.
Yeah.
And if
So
you're
good.
not, you won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, don't give baggage too much power. You know,
Right.
because everybody has baggage, and just like we know it's there,
Yeah.
but it's not as powerful as some of the other things that you can give
That's
power
right.
to,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
And
That's
so,
right.
and adding to that, yeah, baggage is temporary.
Yeah, it
It
is.
comes and goes, and doesn't have to be there all the time. It just may be there. Maybe we have less at some other times, but don't give it too much power.
I
It's
think
not
that's a
gonna
great
control you.
strategy for people that are perfectionists.
Yeah.
I'm a recovering perfectionist.
I like that. Recovering.
And truly, yeah.
So the goal isn't to get rid
Yeah.
of the baggage.
Manage the baggage.
Manage
Yeah,
the goal
it's-
is to manage it.
No,
Manage
but
it.
also
Manage.
as you look at it,
To understand
if
it.
it's depleting you, if you see that it's not serving you and dragging you down, and there's no, and it's keeping you in a place that's not of light, if it's really
Right,
dark down there, then to transcend it and transform it and bring it to the light.
So
You know, and
we're
to-
really talking about self-awareness.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
healing
really.
it. You know,
Yeah.
it's that
We really
healing
are.
that part of you.
Really are.
Because I often admire different people for their characteristics. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is amazing. You're so like that. So I would take on words like I didn't think I had discipline. And so for a whole year, I took on discipline and I learned what that word meant. Because I didn't think the baggage was, I had a belief system that I'm not very disciplined. When in actuality,
You are.
I was disciplined in areas, but I put an umbrella belief around it.
Yeah.
And then when I also heard that the more disciplined, you're more like a disciple in my spiritual walk, then I went, ooh, I want to go here. And then I found the more discipline gives me more freedom,
Great.
right? So
Absolutely.
it's just fascinating.
You know, life is such a fascinating journey, and
Yeah.
I just really want to thank you guys today for sharing and weighing in on our topic today, what's your baggage? And I want you to take heed to some of the words and some of the strategies and some of the principles and some of the things that we talked about today, because it was truly, truly delightful to hear from my co-hosts. And I want to thank Fatima and Kathleen for joining us today, and we're looking forward to you in more of our shows. And so I want and invite you to tune in next week as we have another topic for you that we're going to discuss, and it's going to be hot. Let me tell you, really hot. And so I'm inviting you to write in your questions or your comments to me at Dr. B at transformationsuccesstv.com. Again, that's Dr. B at transformationsuccesstv.com. So don't hesitate, write in. We'd love to hear from you. And if there are any topics that you'd like us to discuss, we'd love to hear from you. So stay well, be blessed, and we will see you next week, same time. Thank you for listening.